Hey everyone, Carrie Beck here with FamilyEbiz.com, where we help families start and scale their online business and find freedom in their life. We are all about freedom. I'm all about freedom. That's my big why I have a business anyway. So we are in the middle of a podcast series called Working Smarter, Not Harder, so that you can meet your income goals this year. Isn't that exciting? Well, we've already talked about charging what you're worth. And then we've talked about webinars. Today, we're going to talk about our email funnel after our webinar or through the webinar. We need to have a funnel. Now, our last VIP day that we did a few months ago was all about sales funnels. That is a little different than what this funnel is. This is more about your specifically to a webinar. What kind of emails do you need to prepare to have a successful launch and a successful webinar? And you're using that webinar as a tool. So we are going to talk all about that. If you want to know more general about your lead magnet and your funnel and your ideal customer, you can go and look at our other VIP day and I connect the dots. And that is all about connect the dots so that you can have a funnel that's selling. You know, Lena was one of our VIPers in our first one. And she said, told me 3 weeks after the VIP day was, Carrie, I just kept working. I worked a lot there. I got things done. Then I put it all on automation, the whole funnel, and I've already made back the money that I invested in your VIP day, and I'm making more than that. So she is making a profit off of what she learned at her first VIP day. All right, let's talk about email funnels. Before we do, if you have not subscribed to our channel, please click the button and subscribe. If there's a place for you to leave a review, it would mean the world to me if you would leave a 5-star review. So, all right, email funnel for everyone who watched the webinar. You already know email is important, but what is cool is we used to just have one big list. Now we can segment our list and send specific emails to different groups. So if people are not interested in your topic of that webinar, they can opt out so that you don't have to bother them. You can still send them your weekly e-zine or whatever it is you send them. But really, when you segment your list, you are going to get the most qualified people as well. You know, for me, I mentioned this a lot. I use it as my own example, the Racing Leaders, Not Followers course. I could send targeted emails when someone comes to my webinar and they've sat through that webinar. And that is what those are hot prospects, not just warm, but hot, because they have already sat through it. And if they haven't, you can also tag them when they buy, and then they don't get any more promotion emails. So when I send my emails after my webinar, just last week I had 3 webinars for my course. This one was Start School Right in 2024. And so once someone bought, they didn't get any more promotion emails because I pulled them out and they got a customer onboarding. All right, we're not going to talk about that. We're talking about our webinar emails. And so that just makes it great. You know, you can have a large list, but if they're not opening and they're not clicking or they're not coming to your webinar, then it's not going to do anything and you won't make as many sales. You can have a list as small as 200, but they're interested, they are more likely to buy. My small list, I think I had over 400 people sign up for my webinar. Those are the people that are interested in it. They signed up for that specific topic. So, all right, so let's talk about what we need to do to set up our email funnel. The first one's pretty obvious, and y'all probably already know about it, but you've got to have an email service provider. Do not start sending this out with from Gmail. Trying to turn my alarm off because that is not professional. I personally recommend Aweber, and it allows me to have multiple lists. So I have a Family eBiz one, I have a homeschool one, I have my affiliates one. And so that I don't send everyone my business stuff in the homeschool world. So that's not worth it. I don't need to bother them. They're going to unsubscribe. So I have multiple lists. I can segment them. I can put tags on them so that I can send it just to a specific group as well. So first, you need an email service provider. Second, after your webinar, you need to thank them for coming. Thank you for being there. That's just good manners. It also will be a way that you can remind your people that how we met. All right. It can also open the door for them to ask questions that maybe they didn't think about during the Q&A on the webinar, but they did later. And you could say, just reply to this email with your questions and I'll get back to you. You do have to pay attention to it during your launch. Remember, this is all about launch. That's what we're going to talk about in our VIP day at the end of this month is launches and then webinars. And then next we'll talk about the webinar emails. After that, we need to create 5 or more emails to get them engaged. Every email should always have a call to action. Some readers need more direction, and don't just assume that they're going to remember everything. So you should talk in those emails about your message as well. But you want a follow-up series of some sort. Now I'll tell you the difference between a follow-up and a broadcast when I'm talking. A broadcast is one I just send out at one certain day and time. A follow-up is one that comes after a certain action. So maybe they sign up for my lead magnet and then they get a follow-up every day for 5 days. So you do need to have some sort of follow-up series with them. With my webinar, I tend to use broadcast because it's only during my launch period. And I don't know when they're coming in, and I want everyone to get the same message on certain days. So create 5 or more emails to get them engaged. Next, you've got to repeat your sales message over and over, touting your benefits, answering the biggest questions that people are asking. Don't assume that they remembered everything that was in your offer. All right. So you've got to say this over and over. It's said that a person needs to see a message 7 times for them to actually take action. So don't be shy in having a call to action in each of those emails as well. So you need an email service provider. You need to thank your people. You need to create about 5 or more emails for follow-up. And then you want to repeat your sales message in those follow-up emails. And if it all sounds super, complicated, a couple things. Number one, you could get a BA just to take care of setting up your list and getting email templates and that kind of thing. You might even have them write emails, but I tend to do that because that is marketing and I feel like I have the best voice for that. But another thing you can do is for those emails, and I've done this, and I'm going to talk about it next week, is using AI. And I've had AI write some emails for me. There'll be something in the show notes that is a free tool on using AI. And so I would encourage you, if you've ever wondered how to do that, we will put that in the show notes. Then I've got a podcast coming out after this one specifically on how can you use AI? How can you use it in your business? How can you use it for titles and emails? Now, do I copy and paste and then go send it? No, I do some work. So be sure to listen to our next podcast on that as well. The other thing you can do, maybe having a VA isn't going to work, come to our VIP day. It's at the end of this month, and you can go to familyebiz.com/VIP, and that would be a great way for you to learn more how to launch, how to run this webinars. I've been using webinars since 2008. Oh, I totally believe in them. So I think that's really important. You know, Chris came to our VIP day and she just said, Carrie gives such useful information no matter what stage your business is in. The Path to Profit VIP day to help me take a look at my business, offer a fresh perspective, and I made more progress in a few hours than I have in a long time. And if you're looking forward to growing your business, she highly recommends any of the VIP days. We had a great response. People got a lot done because there's teaching and get her done hours. So you'll get some work done. Go take a look, familyebiz.com/VIP. The name of it this time is Simplify Your Sales, talking about launch, webinar, emails, and promotions. So thanks so much for spending time with me. I am Carrie Beck with Family eBiz. We'll talk to you next time.